Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title suggests, we are discussing mass tourism in Thailand. And the definition of mass tourism in Thailand, I think, first of all, we need to sort of set the definition for that, which is basically numbers or tourism of the type that we saw prior to the March response to COVID-19. The emergency decree, the immigration lockdown, the suspension of 30-day stamps, suspension of visa on arrival. So we're looking at numbers. We're looking at a reversion, if you will, to the situation prior to that time. A recent article from Thai Visa, thaivisa.com, article is titled "Thailand to Remain Closed to Mass Tourism Until March. Travel Bubble Discussions Ongoing." Quoting directly, "The prospect of Thailand's borders remaining closed to most foreigners until March will come as a further blow to Thailand's beleaguered tourism industry." So I'm not going to quote any further from that. There's a lot of information in that article. I urge you to go check it out. But a question that's been posed to me based on this article, folks have asked me, they've asked, do I think that that's likely, that March is probably the earliest we might see that? I would say that's a pretty fair assessment. And by assessment, I mean, again, seeing anything akin to the system as it was prior to the COVID response in March. So anything akin to 30-day stamps, anything akin to visas on arrival, perhaps the repeal of the need for the certificate of entry, any of that, I think you're probably looking at a situation where March is going to be the earliest where we're possibly going to see that. And I think that's probably for a host of reasons. Most notably, I think vaccinations are probably going to play into that, or the availability thereof, I should say. And many other factors are going to play into that. But March, I think, yeah, probably not until then. Although I've seen credible sources that continue to talk about the possibility of at least some relaxation of visa rules with respect to the time frame around Chinese New Year, which is late January, early February of 2020. Again, that remains to be seen. But that being said, we're talking about mass tourism. So we're talking about the reimplementation or the repeal of the suspension of 30-day exemption stamps, visas on arrival, or maybe even you could maybe say included in that terminology would be the repeal of the need for certificate of entry. I think March at the earliest before we would see any of those developments come to pass.